Welcome back from your break. Hope you've got lots of coffee, feel invigorated. We've got a session from myself. My name is RHYS Austin. Actually, I was here last year. This is the second time I've attended this particular event. I am responsible within an EMEA function, so Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So I am somewhat blessed by having a view of what happens across the whole of the European, African, and Eastern continent. It's my pleasure here today to talk to you about HP, what HP is doing within the converged infrastructure, within the cloud, what we do with client virtualization. And I must admit, I had a wry smile on my face. And it's quite interesting for me to follow EMC talking about VCE and comparing VCE and saying those other vendors, they just kind of lock you into their solutions, and naming HP as one of them. And it's okay if you go with VCE, because it's okay if you go with EMC, and it's okay if you go with VMware. And it's okay if you go with Cisco. Now, somebody tell me that's not lock-in. I don't know. But I'm not here to talk about them. I'm here to talk about what HP can do and what HP is seeing in the world. And I hope you'll find some of the thoughts that HP has that I represent interesting, thought-provoking, and give you some ideas of what we see is happening in the industry. So my agenda is pretty simple. I think we all are aware that the IT world is certainly changing out there, and let me give you a perspective on that. We'll talk about the journey to the cloud and how HP views that, how we work with our customers, and hopefully we'll be honored to work with yourselves. We'll talk a little bit about the HP and the VMware partnership. It is one of the longest standing partnerships that the companies jointly have. Talk a little bit about the cloud system for VMware. I'd like to show you a short video, just to break it up so you don't get too bored with my voice. And very finally, and a very small part on HP Virtual Desktop solutions. Now, I would say that in terms of the world changing, I would say that there's maybe three major trends that we've seen that I'll touch upon as we go through this presentation. One would be converged infrastructure. And you know, one of the things that HP is really good at is making product, making hardware, making infrastructure. We're actually really good at software. May surprise you to know that actually we're the 6th biggest software company in the world. But what we're not really good at sometimes is the marketing. And it was over 3 years ago that HP coined the phrase converged infrastructure. And my God, I wish we trademarked it, because everybody out there is talking converged infrastructure. And that's okay, because it is a major trend that we see in the industry. So I'd say converged infrastructure is certainly one of those trends. Cloud is absolutely a trend, and it is here to stay, no question about that. And the other is software-defined data center. And many of you have listened to the previous presentations talking about software-defined data center. And I'm going to just take a few moments to give you a little different spin on something which may not have been spoken about. But in terms of the major technology innovations, we've moved from the world that was very static, where it was very much project-based. You as IT innovators, service providers within your organizations would have those predictable workloads. It was very much around physical computing. We now know we've moved into that virtualization world. We start talking about IT as a service. And that's the critical thing to think about. It's now all service orientated. And if you in your organizations are not thinking about your IT as a service, be it software as a service, infrastructure as a service, you name it, but it is a service. So we've moved from it being about servers and storage and networking to it being about the service. And then that final trend, if you like, and that we're seeing is changing, is bring your own device, or BYOD. And that is now fueling the rise of what VMware would refer to as client virtualization, what many in the industry, and there are many different ways of doing this. I'm sorry, we call it client virtualization. VMware would call it end-user computing, but it pretty much means the same thing. So that world has changed, and therefore, we as industry leaders, we believe we need to be on top of that change. And in fact, we think we need to be leading that change. So let's just give you something which you may not have been aware of. Just over 8 weeks ago, HP launched a radical change in the server market. We launched what is known as, and we have termed, a software-defined server. Now, the reason I wanted to take a little bit of time talking about this is because this is a different way of looking at servers than have traditionally been looked at and talked about before. This is taking applications needs, and defining what the server needs to look like that sits underneath this. For many, many years, and HP being a pioneer in this, in 1989 when we introduced the first x86 server, and have led the market since that time, we've been looking at general purpose servers. This flips it very much on its head and looking at what is the application that you're trying to, what is the application you're trying to run, and what is that trying to achieve. And therefore, we can build the server infrastructure that layers underneath that according to that particular needs. Some of those numbers didn't come up very well there. So we launched Moonshot. Moonshot is a project, and the first incarnation became available at the beginning of April. To give you a flavor and an idea of what this looks like, in just 4.3U, in a chassis so big, within there sits 45 cartridges. A cartridge can house many things. In its first incarnation, these cartridges are housing servers, a single processor server, built upon the Intel processor, and there will be more becoming available from HP through a cadence that will come through the following many years. So now, in that very small chassis, I can fit 45 servers. That means within a rack, within a 46U high rack, I can fit 450 servers. Wow, pretty impressive. As we roll out these offerings, very shortly, we'll be able to put 4 servers on a cartridge. That gives me 1,800 servers in a rack. Very low power, low cost, low energy, because these things are going to fly. So, totally new way of looking at the architecture. I've given you one indication of how many servers you could get inside a rack. But it's not just about that. What could we do if we were to add different compute elements to that cartridge? Could be graphics, could be floating point, could be whatever we think is the next application that requires that type of compute power. These servers have taken the world by storm, and we're expecting to see many, many great things about this. Now, one of the things that is quite interesting is as the rate of change in the industry is going so fast, as innovators, we need to bring out products that move so fast. We believe that by utilizing this technology, where the traditional technology would take somewhat like 18 months to bring a new product to market in the server world, it will now drop that down to by a third. So every 6 months, as we see new demand in the market, we can create product tuned to that particular need. Think about mass scale out. Think about technology that you need to process multiple things in parallel, rather than end-to-end processes, but multiple things in parallel. Maybe if you're running a website that takes in photographs, and you're providing a service such as HP does with Snapfish, maybe you could enhance your offering if you could do facial recognition every time somebody uploads a picture, and you can recognize the picture and add certain tags to that picture. Imagine if it's an ATM, things that don't need to happen in sequence but can happen in parallel. So one person takes their money out of an ATM, the next one takes the money out at the same time. Does it have to actually attack the database at the same time? Probably not. It can happen asynchronously. So very low power, massive scale-out capabilities is something that we believe the Moonshot servers can deliver for us. Hundreds of servers. Critical is that they're managed as one, so you manage the servers from the chassis. It's not particularly pertinent to the VMware environment right now, I would say, because they're very low-powered servers, and you're more likely to be running single workloads. But moving forward, there's possibilities there that we can see. Massive scale and massive efficiency. And the numbers at the bottom are just really trying to say that if you had 100,000 servers, this is the amount that you believe that we could save, 195 million, a big number of servers, by deploying this type of architecture. And of course, there are not only space savings, but in terms of CO2 and the amount of carbon and energy used. And energy is pretty critical. Now, how much in your data center are you paying per kilowatt? It's 30-odd cents in America. Dramatically increases. It's more like $15 when you go down to the Caribbean, and I'm not sure what you guys pay, but these could be quite interesting. So I just wanted to give you a flavor of what HP is doing and innovating in the converged infrastructure. But the next step is cloud. And certainly, the key part that I believe that each of you, as you're looking to develop your cloud-based solutions in your market, will be looking at what you currently have. You'll be possibly looking at building your own private clouds. You may be thinking, do I want somebody else to build a cloud for me and they want me to manage that, but it will still be my cloud. Or maybe I just want to go to Amazon and I'll get the public cloud. And it's a fundamental belief of HP's that you don't need to choose. You shouldn't need to choose. And you should have one consistent architecture that spans the traditional, the private, the managed, should you so go there, or the public cloud. So the HP cloud solutions, wherever you lay, hopefully we can understand your environment and build one infrastructure, one common look, one common theme, one common plane of glass to look across all of that. It's very much service-driven. I said it's not about the servers, it's about the service. And you, as IT guys, you're going to start to have your role changed to become a broker. So previously, you may have thought of yourselves as building IT infrastructure. And that's what you would have done. You'd have built the infrastructure to deliver the service or deliver a service to the organization. Now, your role is possibly to build it, maybe in the traditional, maybe to build it in terms of the private cloud. But you're going to look to where is the best cost, where is the best performance, but most importantly, where is the right service level agreement, or SLA, to build your environment across all of those four paradigms. And some people will just go down one route, and some people will go down multiple routes. High degree of automation. This becomes now you are going to be empowering your users to consume resource. That's a subtle change, right? Before you would give them resource. When you're talking about self-service portals, when you're talking about automation, people will be able to consume resource, so you have to manage that. And one of the critical things that you can't do is buy a cloud, buy a block of something, put it in your environment, and just think, that's going to work. We've seen all too many times people moving into the cloud environment thinking, that's a standalone world. I don't need to change my policies. I don't need to change my procedures. I can just let everything else happen just the way it's always been. And the cloud has failed. So as you go through your journey, as we would always refer to it, to the cloud, look at what you've got, look at where you want to go, and try to look at and ensure that you have consistency, not just in the infrastructure, but ensure that you have sufficient budget assigned to the skills and the procedures and the policies that you're going to have to put in place to ensure this thing really works. I talked about HP Converged Systems. It is the biggest third wave. The third wave, if I say the first wave, was in the mainframe world. Kind of started out in the 60s. Second wave would have been in the early to mid-80s, when we moved into that client-server world. And now we're in a world of converged systems. Taking the converged systems, taking HP's converged infrastructure, taking server, storage, networking, security. Oh God, that's pretty critical, right? One of the reasons, not the only reason, HP bought 3PAR was for the tipping point security that can bridge across, and not that only does threat detection, but threat prevention. And again, that's something within your world you need to very much think about. The management software that spans that, and we'll talk a little bit about the management and how we manage our cloud environment, how we manage our server environment, our networking and storage, but how we link that into, many of you will be VMware customers, how we link that into the VMware management tools. So we've brought out, and I said it was over 3 years ago that we defined the converged infrastructure. And that was if you like, the start of and became the embodiment of what we now do with application systems. So we now offer into the industry systems built not just on the underlying hardware architecture, but going all the way through the stack to the application, taking the best of breed, best benefits, understanding through the likes of VMware, through our application vendors, could be Oracle, Microsoft, etc. How do we build that best application? The virtual system, I would say, is probably the nearest what we have and what you can see as referenced with VCE. The virtual system is taking best-of-breed hardware from HP, and it is HP and the virtual system, packaged together, packaged with, in this case, it would be VMware, and building that and delivering that to you as a full working solution. And then the cloud system takes it to that next level. That's full service automation, using HP software right at the very top end to do the full automation, to do the application provisioning, which you probably wouldn't have heard about before, but to do the full life cycle management. So that's what HP Converged Systems is all about. And there is a journey. Okay, we as guys in the industry, we kind of get caught up on a lot of the buzzwords. We get caught up in the next technology, the next thing that's happening. But many of our customers will be at different stages in adopting the technologies. On the left-hand side, the first thing that people will look to do, and many of you have probably done this, is to standardize and consolidate. Many of you, you're sitting in this room, will have already looked to virtualize. But have you started to look at the automation element of that yet? Talked a little bit about self-service infrastructure. This is giving your users, or could be giving your own IT departments, service portals in which they can consume an infrastructure that consists of the service, storage, networking, and so forth. Then that next level is the application that I mentioned. So, okay, so you've got the base hardware. How do I get my applications on there? I just want an exchange. How do I get that? Through a self-service portal? Yeah, absolutely, we can do that. And you may in turn want to go to the ultimate way of actually becoming a service broker yourselves in a hybrid world, delivering services maybe to your own organizations, and maybe delivering services to other organizations as well. At that top end, you are absolutely not locked in at all. The virtual system, as I mentioned, is very much built around HP technology. As soon as you get into the cloud system, as soon as you start to get to the service automation, heaven forbid, should you so wish to choose a competitive product, we can fully support that too. I mentioned we've got a very strong relationship with VMware. We've been partnering for 12 years. I personally have been part of the alliance team across EMEA for the last 8 years. Very, very strong collaboration. We've got so many integration points with VMware on our storage, on our servers. But there's a few things that we do that may be slightly different than maybe some others. We act as a reseller, so we resell VMware. If that's what you want us to do. We act as an OEM, so we embed VMware into our solutions. Through our professional services organizations, so through the ES organization, or Enterprise Services organization, we build solutions based around VMware. We're a massive VMware training partner. So if you want to be trained on VMware through HP Education, we've got a huge offering there. But as importantly, we ensure that we've got as many integration points at the technology level as well. So no matter which way you look at it, and this is not a bragging or a boasting, it's to give you confidence that if you go with the solutions, if we are blessed with you going with our solutions from HP and VMware, the reality is the more people run VMware on HP servers than anybody else's. On VMware themselves, 100% of the Fortune 100 and Fortune Global 100 run on VMware. You can see those data points. We've got more servers, more storage that's qualified for VMware than anybody else. Again, not really bragging. What we're saying is, whatever the right servers and storage to suit your needs are, we hopefully have got a solution to meet what your needs are. Talked about storage, 10 points of integration, and we've got a huge investment in HP technology services. So you can see the numbers there of how many VMware certified professionals that we have. That's not to say we don't partner. We partner very strongly with our partners in the industry, not just the likes of VMware, but we go to market as HP predominantly through our partner community. Within EMEA, or Europe, Middle East, and Africa, within EMEA, approximately 70% of our business is driven through our partners. And I hope that many of you in this room, and I expect many of you in this room, are partners of ours, and we continue that strong, incredibly strong position with you guys. We believe we've got the best converged infrastructure for VMware. We believe we've got the best compute platform. Most people, when they're looking to move into the cloud, would look at the bladed architecture, not exclusively, but hopefully would look at Blade. There with the Blade, we've got over 50% market share. An incredible position, and we thank you, our customers, for allowing us to get to that position and basically voting with your wallets. On the storage, we've got some of the best storage capability with the 3PAR. 3PAR was an acquisition of HP's. We specifically acquired 3PAR for this virtualized and cloud world. 3PAR storage is built upon multi-tenancy. It is built to encourage and work with multi-tenancy, which is absolutely critical if you're working within a virtualized world, because you just don't know, or a cloud world, you don't know what type of data is going to land on that system. With 3PAR, you need the thin provisioning as well. When I stood up here last time, I mentioned that we had a guarantee with 3PAR. If we couldn't, and if you implemented a 3PAR solution from HP, and we couldn't guarantee that we could halve your storage costs, and we could double your VM density, we would put the technology in behind that to back ourselves up. To date, we've not had to do it. We can prove that that technology really rocks. So we have a cloud system optimized for VMware. So this is our cloud-based solution that is very much targeted and is ensuring that we work best with the VMware environment. So what I'd like to do is to run maybe just I think it's a 3 or 4 minute, say it's a video, it's a little speech from one of my colleagues in the US, that will hopefully give you a flavor of how tight our integration is with VMware.
Chances are you've virtualized your environment to reduce footprint, lower costs, and streamline management. But you're still under pressure to innovate, to be faster, to reduce costs even more. To respond to these needs and to capitalize on virtualization investments, many organizations are building cloud environments. Cloud provides self-service, on-demand access to infrastructure and application services. While the idea is right, the move to cloud can be complicated. How do you provide self-service access to increase agility? How do you automate all the steps to reduce errors and simplify your environment? And how do you accelerate deployment to speed time to value? It can take 6 to 12 months or even longer to develop and deploy a virtualized system from scratch and then enable it for cloud. Conventional wisdom says that when it comes to speed, cost, and quality, something has to give. Not with HP Cloud System. It's designed to optimize all three: speed, cost, and quality. With HP Cloud System, you can meet the demands of your business and financial teams and create a secure growth path for handling whatever comes next. As part of HP's Converged Cloud strategy to offer a common architecture for hybrid delivery, HP Cloud System delivers a complete solution for building clouds that can span private, public, and hybrid environments. HP Cloud System offers a full portfolio of integrated and open cloud platforms that deliver self-service infrastructure as a service, self-service application as a service, and services to external consumers. If your organization has started on your virtualization journey with VMware and you're now looking to move toward cloud, HP Cloud System offers integrated, optimized solutions to support your choices. These solutions enable you to rapidly and efficiently build, provision, and monitor both virtual and physical cloud environments in minutes through a single self-service portal within these partner environments. These solutions are designed to grow with your needs as you move from virtualization to cloud service automation. HP Cloud System accelerates time to value by eliminating many of the steps in developing a cloud environment. It integrates best-in-class hardware, software, management, and services into a turnkey converged cloud solution. It's all based on market-leading HP Converged Infrastructure and HP software, as well as deeply integrated partner software. Together with VMware, HP gives you a wide range of choices for your path to the cloud. HP Cloud System optimized for VMware provides a complete cloud-ready environment tuned for the VMware vCloud suite. It includes an auto-flexing feature that enables your VMware administrators to provision hardware for vCloud Director to automate the scaling of converged infrastructure. HP Cloud System optimized for VMware enables you to double virtual machine density, reduce network complexity, and gain the flexibility to support any workload. It helps you rapidly transform virtualized and physical resources through a self-service private and hybrid cloud environment. Your IT environment never stands still. HP Cloud System, optimized for partners, is designed to change with your needs. The flexible architecture of the system makes it easy to add storage or compute capacity to accommodate new or growing workloads. This same architecture gives you the opportunity to upgrade your HP Cloud System environment for future growth or business needs. For example, you can add enterprise-grade application provisioning and lifecycle management through a single self-service portal. Whatever configuration you choose, you're poised to move to the cloud with confidence and trust.
Okay, so just a few moments left as we slightly overrun. That hopefully gave you a flavor and backed up some of the things that I was saying. I do want to pick up on some of the messages that were given, and it's about those three pillars that you see down the bottom. However you're going to do your cloud, your converged cloud, be it on the traditional private, managed or public, it's about consistency. I urge you to build that consistency into your own organizations because without that, we as HP will feel that you will fail, and that's been proven to us. It's about choice. We don't want to lock anybody into HP-only architecture. We believe that we will excel and succeed in the market if we offer choice. And then with confidence, we talked about security a little bit and the management capability that we have, where we will build in and integrate the management tools of VMware integrated into what we can do with HP. We partner. That particular slide was seen on the small video. We partner, of course, we partner with VMware, with F5, and you can see the rest of the guys up there. We are a partner organization. We do not, just like VMware, we do not do everything alone. We partner, we offer choice, and we offer integration. And that's where, as HP, we will excel. Now, I'm going to quickly pass through these, but we heard a little bit about auto-flexing. That's a unique capability that we have to work with VMware, with vCloud, and to provision VMware VMs as and when the requirements are flexibly needed. And that is to increase capacity, but also, quite importantly, to decrease capacity as and when that is required. We absolutely have a management suite of products that, in our opinion, are second to none, and we can manage everything right all the way through from end to end. Just a little example for those of you that may be on the more technical side and you may be actually managing VMware. From within our vCenter, within the vCenter console, you can now get to see the deep integration, through our integration, you can dive deeply into what's happening in the underlying hardware. Because let's be honest, if you're working in a virtual world, there's still a physical world that you've got to worry about, because that virtual world is sitting on top of a physical. So you need to ensure that you have that whole holistic view. We've got everything we believe needed to help that. We've got the data protector. I don't have time to go into this now, but it's an enterprise backup solution certified by VMware for providing the highest level of backup. And you can see some of the data points. And with Flex Fabric, when I spoke last time, I spoke about what we as HP and now industry leaders, industry analysts, I'll name Gartner as being one of them, are starting to understand and to explain to customers such as yourselves that the architecture, the network architecture that was developed yesterday for the client-server world is no longer the correct architecture for the new cloud-based world. And you just have to think about where network traffic flows. Virtualization, cloud-based solution is starting to have network traffic move between servers without going outside of the rack, without going outside of the data center. And hey, looking at what I just showed you with Moonshot, not even going outside of that chassis. So we need to flatten that network. And with our HP networking, we are growing faster, I would say, than anybody else in the market. So I guess in closing, just be sure that as you're on your path to the cloud, just be sure that you do plan it, you plan it well. Don't let somebody say to you, well, I'm just going to drop in a cloud and hey presto, look how wonderful and shiny and great this is. Because if you don't change your policies, your procedures and everything else and build it into your entire infrastructure, it is doomed to fail. We as HP have got many, many offerings, if you like. We've got cloud discovery workshops. We work with our partners, and hopefully you will work with our partners too, to help you understand where you are and what you need to do in order to help you on that path to the cloud. I said I was going to talk about virtual desktops. I'm afraid I don't have time to do that. But the whole bring your own device to work is accelerating this requirement to have the control, security, and bring things back into the data center. Because there's one hell of a risk that if somebody's got your corporate assets on their laptop or phone and loses that, you could be in deep trouble. So there's a wonderful desktop experience from the consumer side or the user side, but from the IT department, they maintain full control, manageability. We've got solutions based upon that. We've got virtual systems based upon that. That's at the back end. On the front end, we've got a whole thin client portfolio we would love to talk to you about. We've got some of them being shown out on the booth, on the HP booth out there. A fantastic array of products. And if you're not thinking about it, I'm sure your users are thinking about coming into the office and connecting to your network. So that's all it remains for me. I thank you very much for your time. Please come and visit us on the booth together with Bluebridge. Contact your sales rep, your channel rep, but understand where you are on that path, or rather let us help you understand. Let our partners help you understand. And if there's any information you want about that, it's basically hp.com/go, and then put the next word that you want on it. Put VMware for VMware-related information, cloud for cloud-related information, or pick whichever you wish. So I thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor for me to represent HP in front of you. I wish you a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you.